Hello.
Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about stockpiling mistakes. Yes, everyone's talking about stockpiling, and with all the tariffs and shipments supposedly not coming in and all that kind of stuff, everybody's like, do I stockpile? Do I not stockpile? What do I do? So I'm going to give you some stockpiling mistakes real quick. The first thing is, the number one stockpiling mistake is buying things that you don't eat. I am shocked at the number of people who buy things that they don't eat and put it in their stockpile. I'm absolutely shocked. Now, there are some things that I have gotten for free before that we don't necessarily eat on a regular basis, like from somebody moving, or my aunt used to get food from the food bank, so she would give us her leftovers. There were things in there that I wouldn't necessarily eat, but I did keep in my stockpile in case the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit. We at least had food, even if it wasn't in our normal rotation of stuff. But the number one thing is, I'm just shocked at how many people buy food and it's not what they normally eat. So number one, buy food you eat. Buy the canned foods you eat, buy the noodles you eat, buy the cereals, buy the oatmeals you eat, all those things. Buy food you eat. The next thing is not rotating that food. So I keep all of my canned goods on the cardboard boxes that they come in. I usually buy them by 12s. Then I just lift up the bottom can, slide the new one under, and just set the old ones on top. That way my stockpile is always rotating. So I set up my stockpile so that it's easy to rotate in the first place. You don't want to be stacking things on top of each other that you can't reach into the back and get moved forward, that type of thing. So make sure you're rotating your stock. The next thing is, don't buy too much. So you can actually sit and figure how much food to buy. You don't have to make it be a guessing game. So much rice for a person per year. Let's just look it up real quick. How much to stockpile for each person a year for food? All right, we've got our lovely AI here. So 16 pounds of powdered milk for one person. Well, I think, let me look at Walmart here. I think Walmart, the dry milk is like 2 pounds, I think. Or does it go by the quarts? I can't remember. They're not very heavy. They are, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Where is it? Yeah, 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds. So think about that. That would be 8 boxes of dry milk per person to stock up. That's not that much. 60 pounds of sugar or honey. Now, to me, that seems like an awful lot. 60 pounds of sugar and honey. That means each person eats a pound of sugar or honey a week. I don't know that people, well, normal everyday cooking uses a pound of sugar a week. So 8 pounds of salt. I would say 8 pounds of salt because the world needs more salt, people. But just go through and think about it. I know that we don't go through a pound of sugar a week for my family. So I would probably do half of that if I'm just starting to stockpile. So that way you can just sit and figure out what you need and just start working your way up. The next thing is, if your food is expired, that means it's bad. No, do not believe that lie from Satan. It is not true. Just because your canned goods are expired does not mean that they're bad. Most canned goods can go a minimum of 5 years, but a lot can go 10 to 20 years past the expiration date. Now, they may not taste as good, but I have eaten canned food that was 8 years expired. You ate it too. That was at least 10 to 12 years old. Did you live to tell about it?
It just got me just now.
And it was tomatoes.
When was that?
When we were moving, I found a can that had fallen behind. And so I pulled it out and we ate it on the show one day.
Oh, okay.
So just because food is expired does not mean it's bad. Now, how do you know if it's bad? If you open it up and it smells bad, it tastes bad, just taste a little bit. Don't taste the whole thing. So if it tastes absolutely gnarly, and if it looks bad, you can tell right away if something looks bad. So like, let me get this picture. If I have it in here, I was going to say, let me get this picture. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here, okay, here you go. Here is a can of pumpkin that I opened that was not expired. But you can see it obviously is not good anymore. Sorry for those of you eating dinner right now. But as you can also see in the very top corner there, the can was dented, but the label was flat across it. So I didn't see the can was dented when I bought it. Now, I did just buy this can at Walmart, so I promptly took it back to Walmart and got my money back. I said, there's no way I'm eating this. They're like, well, yeah. So you can tell when food is expired for sure. It will smell bad, taste bad, or look bad. So don't let expiration dates lead you to wasting money. Okay, this is the next one. Not getting stuff for free. You can get a ton of stuff for free and process it yourself if you want. You can get a ton of stuff for free that you don't have to process your stuff. So the stuff that you would process for free, you could dehydrate apples and blueberries. You could freeze strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, all of those. You can make your own homemade applesauce, your own apple pie filling, which, by the way, apple butter, all of those recipes are in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1, also on our website, livingonadime.com. We have a big apple compilation recipe. They are delicious, absolutely delicious. So you can get tons of free food, especially in the fall. By the way, guys, our cookbooks are on sale right now, 50% off if you buy the sets. That's the Volume 1 and Volume 2 is a set, or the 3-book set, including the gluten-free, dairy-free, or 40% off our individual books, all 3 of them. Volume 1 is where to start if you don't have any of our books, and Volume 2 is just the continuation of all the recipes that I couldn't fit into Volume 1. Food that is not, that you don't have to process yourself would be, I have gotten food free from friends and family who have moved, neighbors who have moved. I've gotten free food that way. I have gotten free food from the food bank, not me, but my aunt she lived in a senior housing, and they literally just handed them boxes of food. So she would get like 3 to 4 boxes of food, and they were huge banana boxes. These little old ladies were eating good. So she gets these huge banana boxes full of food. Well, first of all, she couldn't possibly eat that amount of food. But secondly, the food bank would not let them pick and choose what they wanted to take. They were just like, this is what you're getting. Just do with what do you want. So then she would give me the leftovers. If there was, if there was leftovers, and every week there was leftovers. So a lot of those things, like there was several types of beans and like some textured soy protein survival foods and stuff like that. I just put them in my stockpile, even though we wouldn't necessarily eat those foods. At least I had it in case the fecal matter hit the oscillation unit and we didn't have anything. And now that I think about that, that was 2015. So that's been 10 years. Wow.
Wow.
Holy moly. All right. The next thing is pest control. Not having pest control in your stockpile areas. So in my stockpile room, I put diatomaceous earth over all of my buckets that have food, and on the inside a little bit, it's food grade diatomaceous earth. Can you go get the link? It's on our Amazon page. And I sprinkle that on top of the buckets. I sprinkle that inside of the buckets. I sprinkle it all around the edges of the rooms where I store my food. When I was storing it under a bed or in a closet, I would just sprinkle it around those areas. Under the couch, I just sprinkle it around those areas. Make sure you have mouse control if you have mouse problems. If you have bug control, the diatomaceous earth is food grade and it works great. What it does is it kills the bugs by cutting up their exoskeleton. And then making sure you stay on top of that. Because what good is it going to do if you lose all your food? The next one is...
I'm putting the link to the diatomaceous earth in right now.
Okay. And I should have moved this up with the other ones, but paying full price for food. You do not have to pay full price. Once again, all of my food, or the majority of it, is done with sales, clearance, free from friends and family, free from picking it, myself, free from growing it myself. I don't necessarily recommend growing it just as a stockpile thing, but you can if you want to. And so people think that stockpiling is going to cost a huge amount of money. It doesn't have to cost a huge amount of money. The next thing that goes along with that is only do what you can do. I mean, if you can only afford $5 a week, every single person watching this can afford $20 a month to stockpile. You can find somewhere to cut $20 a month. Even on Social Security, even the tightest budget can find $20 a month to stockpile on a low budget. I mean, if nothing else, you can go to the thrift store, find something to sell on your Facebook market, your local Facebook marketplace, and go sell it. This, I don't know what's happened. I have gotten on a Tupperware reselling spree. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Tara is a businesswoman through and through.
I happened to find some Tupperware at a garage sale for 25 cents. And I didn't, hold on guys. I don't use Tupperware because I like see-through containers. I don't know why I bought it. I just bought it. Well, I do know why I bought it. I was actually thinking about using it for a video because I was thinking about doing some retro recipes and I was going to actually use it for that. But I didn't have a definite plan for that. And so I bought them and I paid $1.25 for 5 of them. And I turned around, went to the next garage sale, and there was 3 more for $1, $3-4. So I was like, okay, so I paid $2 for 8 containers. I turned around, and when I was cleaning out my garage, I was like, oh, I forgot I had these containers for the show, so I'll go ahead and get rid of them. I sold them for $40 for the 8 containers. I sold them for $5 each. I paid $0.25 each. I sold them for $5 each. And I had people lined up, waiting in line to buy them.
Wow.
So, Tupperware reselling, I'm telling you, I'm getting into this year. I'm going for it. So, look for ways to get that extra $20. Every single person has a way that they can get $20. You can. I don't believe at all that even the poorest of people, you can go stand on the street corner and beg for $20 and somebody will give it to you. So, not that I'm recommending that, but the next thing is listening to the news. And then the next thing after that is not listening to the news.
Okay.
You're like, Tara, you're contradicting yourself. Listen, you cannot listen to the news that says the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. you guys saw if you saw my video yesterday, which is on a straight upward, so I think it's going to go viral. A lady who earned $150,000 a year and was going to the food bank. My head about blew off of my shoulders when I saw this. I could not believe it. And what's even worse is she had been going to the food bank off and on for over 10 years. And what's even worse than that, her excuse was she's paying for her kids' college. And this woman worked at Yale. Now, if you work at Yale, I would hope that some sort of smarts would just ooze into your body just by fact of being there, even if you're the laundry person that's there. If you clean toilets at Yale, I would think some sort of education, true education, will come into your brain. It apparently has not with this woman. I was just like, are you kidding me? $150,000. Well, that's the before taxes income. So what? You're still making $110,000. Well, we live in Connecticut. So what? Move. If you can't afford it, move. I'm sorry, absolutely ludicrous.
I was waiting for the tree thing.
What tree? Oh, yeah. My big saying is, you're not a tree. Move. You are not planted in one space, in one place, whatever. Yeah, that video just about did me in. So stop listening to the news that the sky is falling. Now, at the same time, listen to the news. So like now, there are reports that the ports that are bringing in all of the stuff from China are 30% down in shipments. That they're just not shipping a whole bunch of stuff because they don't know if anybody's going to get it or not. Now, that doesn't quite make sense because we know from doing our own international shipping through South Korea, because that's where our cookbooks are printed, is South Korea. We prefer to support friends instead of enemies. But we know from coming in, you have to pre-buy your items. So like our cookbooks, before they will ship our cookbooks, we have to pay the entire price.
And it's not cheap.
And it's tens of thousands of dollars. It's not cheap. So you can just imagine what Walmart and Dollar Tree and all them, they're paying for all these things. So when they're saying that there's 30% of the shipments down, and this whole tariff thing has been going on for about a week or 10 days, where it's been big, I kind of question if that's true or not. I don't know. Does somebody live in a port city, and can you tell me, is it as busy as normal or is it not as busy as normal? I mean, I've got 300 some odd thousand subscribers on here. Surely someone works at a port and can tell me if the shipments are as much. But it really doesn't make sense because there hasn't been enough time. Because our books, we have to order them 3 to 4 months in advance. I can't just order my cookbooks and then they're here next week. So all this stuff, Walmart and Dollar Tree and Home Depot everywhere, Target, wherever, has ordered all these products months and months ago. And it takes at least 2 to 3 weeks for it to ship, to get from their port to our port to your place. So I don't understand why they're saying that, but somebody works at a port. Let me know. There's got to be somebody who does. If you guys are liking our videos, could you please give us a thumbs up? That helps the algorithm know that you love us. The next one is, let me finish on not listening to the news, actually, also listen when people are telling you things. We have a viewer on here, Bounty in the Badlands. She is a cattle farmer up in Canada. And she's been saying for months, Tara, beef prices are going to go up. Beef prices are going to go up. And I'm like, okay, she's actually a farmer, rancher. You don't farm cows, you ranch cows. She's a rancher in the trenches. I'm going to listen to somebody like that. Someone who's actually working at the ports, and they say the shipments are not as much as they are. The ports have just laid off X number of people because we don't have as many coming in. I'm going to listen to those people. Okay? So listen and see, okay, is what's happening true? Fact check it for yourself. So like 2 years ago when all of the supposedly food plants were all burning down and they were sabotaging our food. Well, this kind of goes with my next one. Stop listening to the homesteader prepper people. Yes, some of them have good advice, and some of them are giving you good facts for warning, but some of them are just doing it to get the views and to just make you scared. And I remember 2 years ago, and I was not happy. There were several pastors that I really respected that were quoting this also about the food plants were burning down and burning down. So I went and actually looked and I Googled how many food plants burn in a year.
Oh, that was crazy.
Because for those of you that don't know, flour and grain is combustible. So like in a grain silo, you have all this grain dust and it can get super hot and heated in there, and then it'll go up in flames. So I actually went and looked. Are they sabotaging our food stuff? And when I looked, there was something, I can't remember the exact numbers, but there was something like 22 food plant fires, problems, whatever, in the last year for this amount, for that 6 months. This year, there was 21. It was exactly the same. Nothing was unusual. A couple of them, one wasn't even a food plant. One was a food bank that just had a heater fire or something like that. I can't remember. It's something simple like that. And then another one or two, their factories were next to an airport, and there was pilot error, and it landed in the food plants.
Off in the far into their property.
Yeah, it landed in their parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's not sabotaging the food plant. So take everything with a grain of salt and fact check for yourself. Don't listen to the news to fact check. Don't let Facebook fact check you. Don't let YouTube fact check you. Fact check for yourself.
Actually, it's to the benefit of people that are saying what they're saying to get everybody riled up, because then more eyeballs watch. So like I mentioned, I used to work in television production, and I was close to news, and I saw where they spun stories to kind of go in if they had an idea, sort of a narrative they wanted to go in, they looked for the parts of the story that would support that and only reported that and made it super scary sounding. So I would definitely not take what they say as reality. You know, there's usually a grain of truth in there somewhere, but it's almost never correct. Well, I can't remember it ever being exactly right.
Yeah. So those are my 10 tips my 10 mistakes that people made for stockpiling. Please send us your comments and question, guys, and we will start answering those. While Mike's getting those to me, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is another stockpiling mistake. Have a good cookbook with basic recipes that you can cook with ingredients you already have on hand and your family will love. We have homemade bread. We have tortillas. We have taco seasoning. We have fajita seasoning, ranch seasoning, which everybody raves about, pancakes, scrambled eggs, sausages. We have how to make apple bread, banana bread, zucchini bread. All of those recipes are in our cookbooks, and they're 40% off right now. For the individual books, 50% off if you buy the 3-book set, or two regular books and our gluten-free, or the 2 regular books by yourself. 50% off right now. But guys, the gluten-free, dairy-free edition, this is what I use. I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, and I use it all the time. All right. We are going to get to our comments and questions here.
Ooh, so I need to send you some.
Oh, yes. Did you not hear me say that? Sorry.
I didn't.
All right. Let me see.
Wait, it's coming your way.
He says it's coming my way.
Boom.
Boom. Did I get it?
Not quite instant.
I did get it.
Emailing it from here to here.
Yeah. And actually, I don't think she has a problem me sharing this, but Mary sent me an email and I wanted to read this to you. She said, been watching your videos, caught the first hour of the live show on Monday. Tried to watch the $150,000 food bank one last night, but I got so PO'd at CBS that I had to turn it off. While I don't want anyone's children to go hungry, I've given up stuff to make sure mine were fed back in the day. It's hard to be sympathetic at times. Exactly. That's why I have no sympathy, because I've actually lived through these things. I sacrificed things so that my children could eat. I did not go on vacations when we were first married. We did not buy brand new cars when we were first married. Why? Because we knew food and shelter was our main priorities to start with. She said, I started looking at my future needs back in late September when the port strikes were about to happen. Not only did I get shoes, undies, and bras and a few new dresses since I wear them every day for work. She said, I also did an inventory of all the things I might need: food, personal care, paper products, books, craft things. Nothing was overlooked. I continue to be worried about job loss. Lately, I have been getting lots of Amazon. Oh, she's been talking about getting free points type things. So she gets a bunch of things off of Amazon for that. She said that she spent, she cut back on her cell phone, changed her cell phone. So she's saving $500 a year. She spent $1,000 getting her car all fixed up and ready, so it's in pristine condition, so that if there's shortages, she doesn't have to worry about her car. And she drives an old car that's paid off. And she said she went to the eye doctor and got a couple of pair of glasses and all of that. And then she said something very interesting. She said, back later, several years ago, many years ago, she was thinking about leaving her ex-husband. She read a book on preparing to leave, and it said to just buy all the things on your husband's money and store them away or hide them if you need to. She said you need a set of sheets, buy 2 sheets, dishes, same thing. Just start stockpiling for the future. It worked then and it works now. And she's exactly right. She says, what I do hope for is that those who go through the rough times is that they come out stronger on the other side, make decisions to do things differently in the future and prepare. Mary is so right. And I was watching another video before this on the tariffs and everything that's going on. And this guy said what has happened is it used to be in hard times, you would save your money, or in good times, you would save your money. And then when hard times hit, you had the money saved up. Until about the 80s, that's what people did. But now, people don't do that. They spend everything they have, and they don't even have a second thought for what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I remember when we moved back to Colorado, it was 2008, and largely we moved back at that time because the economy was really low there, and it stayed the same in Kansas. But what I noticed when we moved there is people were talking about how horrible and terrible everything was. But then I talked to them more, and I'd find out that when the housing was booming and their house was going up in value, they just kept taking home equity loans off of it to buy more doodads.
And we were paying off our house.
More stuff that isn't going to last very long. So they bought a house for $200,000, and when it got to $500,000, they just kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And then when it went back to $200,000, they lost it to the bank. Like if you just kept it, if you didn't buy all that stuff, you would be fine right now. And that was, a lot of people are like that now. And that's, when we were kids, our grandparents used to tell us the whole save for a rainy day and all that stuff.
But nobody does that, and they don't prepare, and they don't try to save money. Okay, let's see. next one is Linda says, hi from Arizona. Love to see you both on live streams. Thank you very much. Nancy's dancing around on her broom while she's waiting for the countdown music. Isn't that just jazzy? I feel like I'm in an elevator. That's what I was going for. Susan, hello in England. Wow. Good morning to you. How's tomorrow?
And Seb's there too.
Huh?
Seb's there too.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
We got more than one person? Wow. You guys are brave.
Yeah.
What time is it over there? It's got to be 5, 6, 7, 8,
It's
9,
like
10, 11, 12,
midnight
1.
Or 1, probably 1.
What are you doing up at 1 o'clock in the morning? But thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
I always get confused with we're on daylight savings and they're not.
Yeah. Lori, she's from New Hampshire. Meatloaf from our first cookbook on page 236. Delicious every time. Thank you. I am so glad you love it. You can get it at livingonadime.com. Claire says, this is kind of dumb to buy what you don't eat. I know, but it's shocking how many people do. She also says, good day and bonjour to each and every one of our gorgeous and fabulous Living on a Dime to Grow Richer fans. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you too. Tina, if I am buying something that I haven't tried before, I buy a couple, try it, and if I decide I'm going to buy more. Yep, exactly. Thank you for Patricia. She's enjoying us being on every day. Sob. Okay, 23:35. So it's midnight, so it's 1 o'clock there now. Wow, good grief.
Well, midnight would be 24. Well, 0.
Oh, 20. Wait.
So it's midnight 02 right now. It's like just.
Oh yeah,
midnight.
it's just after. Well, so yeah,
But
it's still
that's
tomorrow.
very late.
Yeah, it's not 1. It's tomorrow.
It's funny. When Ellie and I were over there the first time, we watched the show from over there, and it was kind of interesting to see the experience from watching the show. I don't remember if we were in Ireland or the UK that time, but it was pretty funny.
Wait, what time did you say 24 is?
It would be midnight, or it'd be the middle of the night. Yeah, midnight.
It is? I thought that would be 11.
No, 23
12?
is 11.
Okay. All right, I'll believe Google.
We leave Google. Oh, thanks. Didn't marry Google.
Okay. Let's see. Linda has bought all of our books. Thank you very much. She bought them for her daughter or her granddaughter and daughter-in-law. Thank you. Kimberly, no notification again. You might unsubscribe and resubscribe and hit the notification bell and see if that helps. Yes, sometimes it helps. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what YouTube is doing. So Kimberly says, thank goodness for the newsletter telling me of live. Yes, if you guys haven't signed up for our newsletter, put the link in, Mike. We do have a newsletter that you can sign up for, and we will tell you when we are on. Kimberly, I am starting on using up some rice that's been at least 5 or 6 years old. Very good. She said it's yellow from oxidation. Otherwise, it's fine. Mixing it with dog food. Got to get the rice rotated. Yes, that does happen. And that's exactly what I do. When things like that happen, I'll use it as dog food or whatever. And here's the thing. Okay, let's say maybe you have some food that's gone bad. You're like, oh, man. The majority of people, if you just keep your rotation going, you're not going to lose that much food. So don't sweat the small stuff. Let's say you lose even $50 or $100. Most people don't. But let's say even if you lost $50 or $100, don't cry over dead rice. Just let it go. It was a mistake. You're at least not going out and spending it all on ding-dongs and ho-hos. So just accept it and move on. Not that you don't, Kimberly. I'm just saying a lot of people do. So Cheryl said, my grocery store had some great deals today. Canned beans, tomatoes, rice, 5 for $5. Wow, that's good. You must be at Kroger or something, because ours I have not seen a good grocery ad for at least a month. It's been at least a month. So I am already noticing, yep, things are happening. And when I see chicken and beef go on sale, I'm going to be stocking up. As a matter of fact, I'm close to just going to Walmart and just stocking up, even though it's not on sale, because here my Walmart is for chicken is $2.37 a pound, and the lowest it usually goes will be like $1.74 here. So I'm kind of thinking, to spend an extra $15 to stock up my freezer might be worth it with the way things are going. I mean, you just don't know. Judy says, I have about 60 cookbooks. Your cookbooks are my top favorite. Wow, and no one is benefiting me from posting this. I love your cookbooks. Thank you, Judy. Wow. We need to keep that quote.
What was it? Oh, wait.
Ours is her favorite cookbook, and she has over 60.
Yes.
Holy moly.
I did see that one.
Denise, I eat canned goods that are 30 years old that I canned, never had a bad jar. Wow. My friend has some in her cabinet, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I would be eating at 30 years old, but if you want to, you go right ahead. Jennifer, I love all the clean and beauty tips in our cookbook. Yep, we have cleaning supplies chapter, we have a beauty supply chapter, we have a kids chapter, we have a leftover section. All of that is in our cookbook. We have gifts in a jar, all of those. Kimberly says the cookbooks read like a book. The first night I got mine, of course, when I got mine, I ordered for all my family. I sat down with that thing and read it cover to cover. Wow, thank you, Kimberly. I think Kimberly has some sort of notification of some sort that she dinks, because literally every video, she's like the first person on there commenting.
Wow.
I think. Usually.
Wait, who is?
Kimberly Nash.
Yeah.
Water Bucket says, I started with a month's worth of food. I have a 3-month supply now, working on a 1-year supply. I do preserve Michigan produce for a year. Very good. Patricia, really enjoying seeing you guys every night. I'm going through the withdrawals when the live streams are over. Susan, Mike, have you looked into the possibility of sleep apnea for your eye issues? Yes.
We were talking about it. I have twice had a sleep test. One time they told me I had central sleep apnea, which is not the obstructive one. It's just where your brain forgets to breathe. But the next time they told me everything was fine. So it's been a little while since I've had a sleep test, but I don't think that's the issue. It is something I would keep in mind, though.
Okay. Next is I sent you both a long email about Nottingham back when you visited the UK. Not sure if you ever saw. Oh yeah, I think we did. And yes, and we appreciated all the tips. Well, we got a lot of them.
I didn't know. I think she meant that like to come visit or something. And the boys and I went to Nottingham, but I didn't know.
Oh well, maybe we didn't.
We went there to visit. I mentioned to her that we went to visit Dave's friend, and while we were in the pub where we were supposed to meet him, the rowdy guy was speaking his mind and decided to nominate Jack for prime minister. And all the people were like, "Oh yeah, that's that guy."
Oh brother!
But it was funny. Jack always likes to think that he was nominated for prime minister.
We need to tell him that at school. Carol says expiration dates are just for store shelf rotation. Yes, it is. Louise, don't forget about bay leaves. Yes, those do help get rid of bugs also, and mice. Peppermint also helps with mice. Nancy says, I'm in an apartment, I don't know if it's Nancy or Michelle saying this, but I'm in an apartment and use fly strips for the gnats, get some borax for the ants. I took out a nest of carpenter ants that way. That's a great idea. And Water Bucket says, good idea on the diatomaceous earth. You can send me the next one. I use that around the outside of my house. Yes, you can. Amazing Grace says, I have instant something in my house plants. I can't get rid of them, Tara. Maybe you mean gnats. So I had the same problem, and I finally just had to put granular insect killer in there, and that took care of it. Jessica, I use my credit card rewards to stockpile vegetable seeds. Very good. She freezes them for years and still has very high germination rate. That's good. Michelle said, I add to my stockpile every week or two, depending on the sales. Paul in Canada, I took a real Tupperware bowl and lid from my dad's house after he passed. I can't get rid of the musty smell. So try putting water with some baking soda and stirring it up and putting the lid on and letting it soak overnight, a day or two. That way, that what doesn't work, you can put some charcoal in there, close it up, let it sit for a day or two. Try that. If that doesn't work, you can try putting newspaper in there. Sometimes that'll work. If that doesn't work, then you can try just setting it in the bright sun for 1 or 2 days, and that one of those things should get rid of it. Ellen says Tupperware is cheaper to ship than Corningware. No kidding. Water Bucket using the price book. So this, we forgot to bring it in here again. It doesn't have the spiral now. We did a stapled version, so it's easier to mail. But Waterbucket says using our price book helps her save money shopping the sales and build up her stockpile. Yes. And guys, our price book is so easy to use. You just put the stores up here. And then over here, I have different types of foods, and we've left spaces for you to put your own foods. And then this is what I stock. This is my stock up price right here. So when it hits this price, that's when I know for me it's a good deal. Everybody wanted to know what my stock up price is. So that's mine. Then you just go in and 1, 2, 3 stores, Safeway, Albertsons, Walmart. Oh, Walmart's got cake mixes for $1.18. Okay, that's a great deal. Oh, cake mixes are now on sale for 97 cents at Albertsons. So I write that down. And then I know when cake mixes go on sale, I want to go to Albertsons to get it. Oh, Susie's mom said, I read an article about people buying groceries with their credit card yesterday. Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for years. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know if Tar mentioned, but we are in the sale up to 50% off things, but the price books are 40% off right now.
Yes. Did I say they were 50?
I didn't hear you say.
Oh, they are on sale for 40% off. Yes.
Yep. I mean, they're already not that expensive to begin with. Yeah. But that's.
Janet says, I love your cookbook. She uses them all the time. Thank you. Jan says, notice today at the grocery store, choices are narrowing down and not stocked fully. Interesting. Kimberly, that's what I love about my cookbook tin can cook from Jack Moore, who is an English cookbook author, is that she teaches how to make recipes out of random cans of food. Yep, exactly. Janet, I got chicken thighs for 49 cents a pound this week. I have not seen chicken that price for years. You got a good deal. Vicky, vintage Tupperware is very trendy. Yeah. Okay. I smelled my essential oil to calm myself. Do I? But now it's making my nose itch. I must have got some on there. Nancy, from people living in different port areas, they say it varies. Some low value, one empty, others fairly normal. Interesting. Canadian Queen says China is shipping to other places and then they send to USA at a cheaper price.
I was wondering if they might send them to some other country and then have that country be the point of origin. And I think that would be, they would probably try to prevent that.
Oh, so they're shipping them to India and then they're actually coming in from India.
Well, I mean, India wouldn't be necessarily the one, but I mean, if they shipped them to some other Asian country and then
I know India doesn't have ports. Well, do they?
They do have ports.
Do they have ports?
They have lots of ports.
Okay, sorry. India has ports, but
China
you know what I'm saying.
Competing against India, but yeah, but nevertheless, they would probably send it to some other. I was wondering if they could send it to some other Asian country and then remark them. I think that would be.
I was thinking Pakistan. I think,
but.
One of those Middle Eastern countries, one of those countries over there makes stuff and ships it to us. But don't they? Pakistan?
Pakistan ships some things here. India ships a lot.
Okay, here. Well, I know nothing about it, so don't listen to me.
More deals with India now to ship more things here.
So now India is going to be prospering, huh? Stacy, they build fear because it allows them to have more control. Yes. And it all comes back to not trusting the news. Yeah, Eva, I'm trying to figure out why Aldi near me is out of almost everything the last week. That's very interesting. I don't know. All right. Bounty the Badlands. After today getting ready for branding, 10 hours straight of putting out fires, I am to a point where I could be a bunch of beef for free. I don't get it.
Oh, because wait, let me rephrase it. After getting ready for 10 hours straight of putting out fires. Yeah. In other words, she's wanting to get rid of the cattle.
So she's done with the cows.
Such a pain
yes.
In the patootie. A pain in the patootie.
It's a pain in the rump roast.
Yes.
There's your new saying, Bounty. That's a pain in the rump roast.
Yeah.
Some days I crack me up. I'm the only one I crack up, but I crack me up.
I think you might be cracked up. I don't know.
Water Bucket. I like the organization of the cookbooks. Also the pictures and the vintage recipes. Thank you. Yeah. So all the recipes that are like my grandma's or my mom's, or there's a few that are mine too, that have recipe cards. We put those in. You could see we have full color pictures right there. we have, I'm trying to find a recipe card one, and I think I've never used this book. It's brand new, so it's not flipping. Well, anyway, I think it's, well, actually, here's one right here. So here's my recipe that I stole from Martha Stewart. My vanilla wafers recipe. You can see I put it in my first cookbook. Did I use her exact? I did not. That's the original recipe that I adapted it from because I didn't like her recipe as well. And then you can see here, my first home ec recipe was Jiffy brownies. Right there. See? Right there. Jiffy brownies.
Nice.
All right.
I still have a soft spot in my heart for the, what is that thing called? The Swedish thing. No, is it Swedish or Russian? The thing you made me. Our first.
Oh, the beef stroganoff?
Stroganoff.
Yes.
It's not Swedish. What is it?
I don't know. German, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what it is, actually. I don't know. What, stroganoff? I think Germany, maybe.
Stroganoff was really good.
Thank you, Water Bucket, for liking how the books are organized. Claire says, our local Safeway was stocked to the brim yesterday in Southern Arizona. Canadian Queen says, is the gluten-free cookbook also available in ebook? Yes, it is. So if you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me, this is the one right here, and we have the ebook. Julie says, just went to Publix and bought sale, buy one, get one free items only. Yeah, but make sure that it's actually a good deal because a lot of times buy one, get one free isn't as good as a deal as buying it separately. So sometimes it can be, but not always, just for people who are looking to do that.
Madeline says Russian, and Donnie in the Badlands says Germany. So
I think German is where we get it from. Jano Moore says, just got in from stacking firewood. There you go.
The name Stroganoff does sound Russian.
I don't know.
It seems like there was some show I saw where somebody was on Newhart. Yeah, the Russian guy who defected, and he wanted like a big.
Oh yeah.
He was taking like a big bucket of stroganoff with him when he left the show.
Simon's Human says, hello from North Carolina. God bless us. Thank you. I go through my pantry, and if I do not like it, I offer it to my neighbors and the women at the thrift store that I shop at. I like to bless people. Yes, that's a great way to do it. I offer tons of stuff to the people at the thrift stores here. Amazing Grace, I need a new cookbook. Are you going to make any more for Living on a Dime collection? So I actually started one, and Dave was typesetting it for me while he was in between jobs. I was paying him to typeset it. And then I was like, forget it. Why am I even wasting my time doing this? So I actually have one that is 3/4 written. I don't know. I should probably get it. I've had it 3/4 written for 5 years.
Is the content there just not typeset? Because
no, it's all Dave typeset it all. Now
of it?
Now you just have to proofread and add the jokes and stuff.
What? Come on, woman.
Well, I didn't know when we were going to get it done.
What happened for volume 2 is after years and years, everyone started rioting and protesting, and Tara finally was like, okay. And then we did it.
I mean, the thing is, I think Jesus is going to come back before it even gets printed anyway. So I'm like, why am I wasting all my time doing this?
Well, you said that in 2019.
I know. I'm saying it again. That's a lot of work. I don't know, Amazing Grace. I got one like 3/4 done. I don't know if I'm going to get it done. Julie went to Colorado a year ago. It isn't the same. So many fake, false look at me people. And that was the rural area. Very sad. Oh, Colorado is a toilet now. Sorry, Goalie and Fareed, although they agree with me. But Colorado is an absolute toilet. Tina, we have always lived below our means, and both our boys say it was the best thing we could have taught them. Can you send me that next?
You need to explain what you mean by Colorado is
we are both debt-free, early retirees, and able to help our families. Very good. What I mean, it's a toilet. It's nothing but a bunch of liberal whack jobs now. It's, well, not all, but the majority. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're even trying to pass law. I don't know if it passed, that if a kid's transgender and the kid and the parents disagree with that, they can take the kids away. It's ridiculous. The driving is just absolutely scary, ridiculous, scary. People just run red lights for no reason. It's just so liberal now. It used to be a really good conservative states, and they were really prospering and did well. And now it's literally just going down the toilet.
Well, everybody's in a kind of a cutthroat attitude, like, got to get there. I got to get somewhere fast. And if you die while I'm getting there, I don't really care. And like having a lot of stuff, and just like we noticed on traffic lights, there would be, every time the light would go red, there'd be 5 or 6 more cars that would go through after it was red. And you're on the other side and you're thinking, what's going on here? My light's been green for 15 seconds and cars are still going in the other way. So, yeah.
And I actually, not too long before we left, but well, I guess it's been about 10 years now. When I lived there, it was one of the 9 car accidents that were not our fault that we had been in 3 years. And one lady had the audacity to say, if you wouldn't have stopped at the red light, I wouldn't have hit you. I was like, seriously, you've got to be kidding me. Kathy says, what is it you put into the Broken Rouge compacts? Well, how about I just show you that video right now? Well, maybe. Where'd it go? Hello. How do I get it on here? I had it. Why is it not showing?
Are those different tabs in Chrome?
Well,
I think you have to choose Chrome tab.
It is Chrome tab. Ah, there it is. Okay. Here we go. I am sharing and I am. Take the back of a spoon and smash your makeup until it's in a fine powder. Then take rubbing alcohol and thoroughly saturate your powder. And take the spoon and smooth it out until it's all nice and flat on top. Then let it dry overnight. And then you have resurrected your broken makeup. All right, there you go. That is how you save your powder, or your pressed powder, or your blush. If you break it, just add some rubbing alcohol, smush it all up and put it in there and it will be great. Okay. Next one is Kayla. Can I, as a blind person, learn basic cooking from your cookbooks? I have the volume 1 ebook. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you have a way to listen to the ebooks, I don't know if you have a book translator.
I asked more and she said that her phone will read it to her.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. Just start with easy recipes, like, how to make pancakes or how to make scrambled eggs. Just start with the easier recipes and then you can work your way up.
Well, I would assume that obviously you'd have to do things differently than other people. So I assume that you would be able to cook and recognize where everything is without burning yourself and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you can cook, then you can cook with this book. Yeah. So
Shannon, so glad you're on. She's missed having us live. Thank you. Bounty in the Badlands says, the Bank of Canada said today we are definitely headed into a recession. Said to my hubby, I'm so thankful we owe no one anything. We will survive just fine. Yeah. We might just put another huge chunk on our house yesterday and today. Tell them what happened when you went to go pay yesterday and then you went to go pay more.
Oh,
we're like, what?
I like to think of competitive things. So I like to get to even numbers to say, oh, I got down below this much. And I miscalculated. And I realized that as soon as I had clicked pay. So I went back to add the extra on so that the next day we could say, yay, look, we got it down to this much. When I tried to put a second payment on it, it said, you can't make 2 payments. You already have a payment out there. And I was thinking, wow, what if we were, I guess.
So we went in today and paid it more.
I guess if you made less than your minimum, probably it would let you pay the rest. But this was more, obviously. But yeah.
Connie, 4 of my adult kids live in Longmont, Loveland area. They are not liberals. Yes. Let me rephrase that. I know actually a lot of conservative people in Colorado. I totally get that. The government, I should correct myself and say the government has just totally gone off the deep end liberal there.
Are you needing me to send you more comments?
Yeah.
Oh, you already read 3?
2. Did you send me 3?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you sent me 3. Jesus Bridge the Gap says, I haven't been on in a while. Do you still do Bible studies? I mean, yeah, we'll answer if you have any Bible questions. We are happy to answer them if you have them. She says, I was hoping you'd start back up. The Bible study was a light in the dark world. Yes. I mean, we are happy to answer any Bible questions you have. Barb says, Bought both of your cookbooks. Love them. And they're the only ones I leave out on my counter. Wow. So full of everyday foods. Have made tons of recipes and none have disappointed me. Thank you. Cindy, we get a $100 home equity loan to get Indiana's homestead tax reduction. Other than this loan, we have no debt. It feels good to be in this economy. Okay. I have no idea how that works, but if it helps, that's
well,
fine.
I think it's some kind of a bureaucratic thing where you have to have some sort of loan on it to get the credit. I bet that's what's going on.
And that
So
would make sense.
$100 loan.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but there are things like that. And it's funny, you can use
That makes
bureaucratic
me so mad.
loopholes to overcome bureaucratic problems.
Okay. Sneakers, Hi Tara and Mike have missed the live shows. Thank you. Canadian Queen, I will be purchasing the gluten-free cookbook after the show. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your support. Daniel says, old saying needs to come back to use it up, wear it out, and make do with or do without. Yes. And Pam says, Meyer has 7 for $7 in Michigan for their deals at the grocery store. Annette says, what do you think of expiration dates on the can? That's just for the store to rotate them off the shelves. Canned food will last up to 20 years, probably even longer. Well, even longer, because on a show about a year ago, opened cans from the 50s or 70s? I can't remember. But it was like the 1950s to 70s, somewhere around there. So at least 40-year-old food. And I ate it and it was just fine. And I did that just last fall. I did a video on that. Morgana says, whole chicken, 99 cents a pound here in Maine this week. Mary Montana says, I enjoy you guys being live. Makes my evening. Thank you.
Thanks. Captain
Unconventional says, Aldi finally opened near me. Not very impressed with the prices. I know. I'm actually doing a video on that because when we went to Branson last week, we stopped at an Aldi on the way home. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. In the kitchen with Grandma Cece. I love your April 1st joke on live. Could you replay it or talk about it? I will never forget it. You guys were so perfect. Had me fooled. Then laughing on the floor. Was that when we froze? I think that's when we froze.
Oh, when we pretended like we were freezing. Yeah, that's right.
So I think the one we do April Fool's big around here. So
yeah, thanks, BJ.
I think he gets it from me. So we do April Fool's big here. And so one day April Fool's was a live show. So what we did was we all stopped. And then it looked like everything had gone down. And I think Jack was in it too, or one of the kids was in it too. That's pretty good. We did it really big this year. Oh my goodness. So my son's school, I think they love us. I don't know. It varies from one day to the next. We'll see if they love us or not. I think my son's school loves us. And so this year on April Fool's, I texted the assistant principal and I said,
she said during it, Jack came in and took a cookie.
Was that what it was?
I think that's right. I do think that's right. Yeah, the frozen one was hysterical, and yes, you were frozen, and Jack wandered in through the frame and grabbed the cookie.
And so I called the assistant, or I texted the assistant principal and the secretary of the school, and I said, I just wanted to let you know to take Jack off the registration for next year because we're not, or I said, I just need to know what to do to take Jack off the registration for next year. And so like 5 or 10 minutes later, I get this frantic phone call from the principal. She's like, oh, Tara, she said, what happened? She said, is there something wrong? She said, I'm just wondering what brought this on, or is there something else going on? And I said, well, I said, I said, because of the drive and all of this, we've just decided that next year it's just not going to work for us. And she's like, what? She said, well, are you sure? And I just can't believe. And are you sure? And she said, are you sure there's nothing else? And she just kept kind of hesitating. And
Because the drive is like, did you mention it?
No, good, didn't want to mention it, but it's not too bad, the drive.
It's hardly any difference.
So I said, well, yeah, I said, there is something else. Well, what happened was I had just sniffed something in the kitchen that made my allergies go berserk. So I was kind of like, yeah, there is something else. And my throat was clogged. And I was like, she's like, well, can you tell me what it is? And I was like, well, I don't know if I should. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess. I said, well, yeah, it's April 1st. And she was like, oh, Tara. The whole school was talking about the April Fool's joke that I had pulled on the assistant principal. And so then we were like, that's funny. Well, then the French people had come that day. That was the night that the French people were getting set up to stay on our property in their tiny house. And it was like 8:00 at night. And we were like, okay. We were like, oh, whew. All right. I think we made it through. Nobody pulled anything on us. So Mike's out talking to the French people. I'm in the house. Mike comes in and he's got our oldest on the phone. And Mike's like, okay, hold on. I'm getting a piece of paper. Just a minute. And Mike puts him on speakerphone and he's like, I said, what's wrong? Because I could see Mike was really upset. And
well, I was in a calm way. I didn't completely lose it or anything, which is
no, awesome. But your face all drains of color and you get this frown on your face and all of that.
Well, it's like Dad going into combat mode.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, what's happening? And so he said, I got pulled over and they put me in jail. And Mike was like, what? And he said, it's that same cop. So my son's been having problems. He door dashes and he's been having problems when he does the late night runs with police just pulling him over for literally no reason. He's not speeding, nothing, anything like that. And so Mike said, oh, that stupid cop.
Well, he faked it in a way that it sounded like it was actually.
You're saying he faked it. I didn't get to that part yet. You blew it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You just blew the whole thing.
You said it was April Fool's.
I know, but I didn't finish.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So anyway, he was just going, yeah, I'm going to need you guys to call my lawyer because my son actually has a lawyer on retainer now. It's kind of funny because he's had so many car accidents that weren't his fault and problems with work and stuff like this. So he's just like, I'm just going to keep a lawyer on retainer.
Yeah, there was one time that he had one.
Yeah.
And the other person's insurance company was trying to roll him.
Yeah.
So he called an attorney and the attorney got him like 10 times as much money as he would have gotten.
So
now he's like, oh, hey, yeah, you want to talk to my lawyer?
So he was like, I need you guys to call my lawyer for me. Can you get a pen and paper? And Mike's like, yeah. And so he's on speakerphone. He said, okay, here's my lawyer's name. And I'm getting ready to write. And he's like, okay, it's April. And I'm writing down April. And he said, fools. We were like, dude, are you kidding me? So of course my son was recording this the entire time. So he sent it to me and then I sent it to the people at the school that I had April Fools on. And I said, okay, guys, I got paid back. So we do April Fools big here, but yeah.
But he actually has a lot of technical skill and he faked it in a way that sounded like the police. He was this one call from the police station.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
He did a pretty good job on that.
But it was kind of cool because he ended up recording it and showing it to all his friends. And I was thinking, I'm glad I was calm during it because I didn't like completely lose it and start flipping out and cussing or anything like that.
Well, you did call the cops stupid. But what's funny is the assistant principal, her husband is an elder at the church. So then Mike said, do I need to go and confess to Paul for calling the cops stupid?
Well, I have great respect for law enforcement,
yeah.
But when the one stopped him and there was a story, he told me what had happened.
Yeah, it was not.
It was no reason for him to stop him, and that's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal for them to stop you with no reason. So the fact that he was making it sound like it happened again and now he's in jail.
Yeah.
That was probably a normal reaction. But I was thinking, a lot of people just lose it and start cussing and everything. And I was like, thank goodness, thank God for helping me control that kind of impulse.
Let's see. Judy says there was sale on chicken for 99 cents a pound. That is great. She stocked up. Good deal. Ground beef for $2.85. Good deal. Let's see. She also says she's gone to several stores to take advantage of good sales. Yep. Vicky says I pay everything with my credit card every week. Yeah, there's sirens going on.
So I said they're coming for you. They heard your story.
Then pay off my credit cards every week. I'm getting ready to cash in my cash rewards to go toward our vacation. Very good. That's great. Janet, my friend was upset because I put meat in the freezer the way I did it, I guess. I've been doing that way for years. I just throw all mine in. I don't vacuum seal, nothing like that. Nancy, bought groceries from Walmart today. They had numerous items on sale, like ham and dried beans. Had to go to each item on sale. Yep. Karen, loving the lives of Miss Terribly. I bought 100 pounds worth of leg quarters, says Laura. That is great. For $37, so 37 cents a pound. Wow, you got a deal. Susie, I buy groceries with my credit card because I get 2% back. Very good. Which pays it off every week. Dragon fruit, my essential oil is orange.
The thing about the credit card, that's a good thing if you pay it off every week. But some people try to do that and they don't pay it off, and that's a disaster. So as long as you pay it off as long as you pay it off before it bills interest, you're awesome. This is for other people, not for you.
Yeah.
Susie, yeah.
And Pam says they think that the shipments are going through Taiwan. Yeah, Badlands. I purchase all my groceries and everything we need each month on the credit card, but pay it off in full every month. That's what I do too. Yeah, I have no problem with using credit cards if you pay them off every month. I do not overspend because I have a credit card. As a matter of fact, I probably spend less because I have a credit card. Because I just don't want to rack up bills. But I think it's more in the mindset of I'm just not going to spend things that I don't need to buy on. So Alex Cinco de Mayo sales at Safeway today in Washington. Sour cream 97 cents, onions 97 cents. Yep, there you go. Nathaniel says, I live on Social Security disability and I use Kroger delivery because I don't drive and only spend $35 per week. Everything gets delivered. You go. That is great. See, you can do it. You can do it. Stormy, it's hard to stock up when you're one person and you eat fresh and you cook from scratch. Can't eat anything but meat, fish, and some veggies. Not many. You can see the next one. I have stocked potato flakes, rice, pasta, honey. Very good. 3, 4. Barbie, olive oil and eggs have recently gone down in your area. Oh, I haven't checked eggs for a while. I wonder what they are at Walmart now. Let's see. Where are they? $3.94. I never thought I'd be happy to see eggs at $3.94. Oh my goodness. I remember when they were 34 cents. Now I sound old. Sylvie, hi, Mike and Tara. I usually can't catch you live, but watch my later. My sister and I have both autoimmune disease we're causing dry issues. The crazy thing is mine affects my eyes and livers. That's interesting. I know you've been checked for a few, but I don't know. All your blood work and everything doesn't show autoimmune. So
yeah, I should ask the doctor again if there's anything else that not like some major medical tests, but like some normal tests, like blood tests and things that I could ask them, check this specifically that might affect that. That would be useful to know.
Okay. Let's see. Cindy, due to special diet, I've been forced to cook a lot from scratch. This has reduced our grocery bills so you don't notice inflation as much. Exactly. Pam, do you have a cheesy potato soup recipe? Yes, I do. Right here. Volume 1. It is 40% off right now for a Mother's Day sale. If you buy the sets, either the 2-book set or the 3-book set, including our gluten-free, it is 50% off. Also, livingonadime.com, you can get the recipe there. And Super Easy Recipes, my other YouTube channel, I have the video on how to make it there.
Woo.
Ines Books says, I always check the price of buy one, get one free. Getting excited at prices in my area. pretty well memorized. Very good. Linda, that's where the price book comes in handy. Now, once again, it's not the spiral now. It's a stapled side for shipping issues. But the price book helps if you don't have them memorized. I have a lot of my prices memorized also.
Yeah, we had spirals on those, and then the post office kept sitting in the back saying they wouldn't accept them with spirals.
Yeah.
So then we changed it to regular.
Yeah.
Staple.
Badlands. Let's split the difference. My great-grandparents were from Beersheba, which is between Russia and Germany. Both countries get credit for stroganoff. Well, there you go. That's funny. Irene, a Christmas candy cookie book would be super. I don't think I would sell that. As popular as my candy recipes were at Christmas on my other channel, Super Easy Recipes, I don't think I would sell the cookbook. Water bucket, shopping the sales, eating seasonally, preserving foods allows me to cook from scratch while saving money. Yep.
What she means by that is I don't think other people would buy it, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. We've made some books that we thought made sense and then nobody bought them.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of learned to be thoughtful of which ones we actually publish.
Kimberly says, good morning from Australia. Her daughter's off at school. Any suggestions on school lunches? Every day is either a pear or apple, Vegemite or jam sandwich, homemade muffin, and pineapple cake. Here's the thing. Is your daughter complaining about that? My son literally takes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to school every single day. And he doesn't care.
Actually, he likes it because it's easy for him to just put it together in the morning. He always knows exactly. He's always mixing the same thing, so he knows what he's doing.
Let's see, Australia is going into winter now. Yeah, you're in the fall now. So you could do things like chicken noodle soup, chicken and rice in a thermos, things like that if you want. But you can have a ham sandwich, an egg sandwich, a tuna salad sandwich. If you guys have those things, I don't know all the things you have in Australia. I would assume you have those things. But if she doesn't care, just let her take it. And you don't say how old she is, but if they're 12, I would say 10 to 12, they can make their own lunch and then they can decide. Teresa says, nothing like Estes Park, though. Yeah, except they've totally ruined Estes Park, too.
Well, it's still pretty up there.
Colorado. It's still pretty.
It's still pretty up there in the mountains.
It's miserable to visit.
The main thing is like to go to the Rocky Mountain National Park and hike or something, you pretty much have to go at 4 o'clock in the morning because they have this dumb system now of it's like buying concert tickets where you have to a month ahead of time or 2 months ahead of time, you have to get online and click buy a million times in the first 30 seconds that they're on sale or they're all gone.
Get one.
And then they don't let you in the park. But you can go in the park before the park opens, but that means you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's really pretty up there, but yeah, they've kind of messed up some things they're doing with the town.
You can send me the next ones. Badlands, I haven't worn makeup of any kind since my son's wedding 10 years ago. Don't miss the fuss and my skin feels so much better. There you go. Kimberly, I do the traffic crash reports. I'm surprised by the number of people that hit parked cars don't leave a note, especially hire cars. Most people don't opt in for insurance on hire cars. Wow. She's in Australia. Julie, Mike referring to you, Revelation, finding you came across maybe 1,000 years is
yeah,
referring to after the rapture. We actually asked Tyler from Generation 2434 what he said.
Yep.
Do you want to read what he said? Can you get it to my Tara account?
I have it here somewhere.
So we asked, Tyler is a Revelation expert. He just knows all things Revelation. We love Tyler.
He said, we, the church, will already have our...
Say the question you had.
Oh, so I don't often speak authoritatively on like prophecy and time stuff because some of it I don't understand enough to feel like I am an expert on it. So our pastor has been talking about, he's been going through Revelation and he got to chapter 21, which is my favorite chapter. But he had this timeline up showing, there's now the church age, and then there's the rapture, and then there's the 7 years tribulation, and then Jesus comes back with us who have been raptured. And then there's 1,000-year reign where Christ is reigning on the earth. And then near the end of that time, Satan is released to tempt the nations for a little bit longer. And I was like, wait, because our pastor had a little marker saying, "You are here," in Revelation 21 at the end of the church age, at the end of the 1,000-year reign. And so I was thinking, wait a minute, does that mean it's going to be like in more than 1,000 years after the rapture, before the no more tears or crying or pain part? And I thought, that's kind of discouraging. So I had never, because I don't.
Michael was like, well, that's depressing if it's not going to happen. So
I mean, it wouldn't really make a difference if you're saved, you're saved. But nevertheless, the no more tears and crying or pain part in chapter 21 of Revelation is like very appealing. So he said, no, the verse is speaking about how there will be no more tears for anyone after the millennium. The key word is anyone, because during the millennium, there will be mortals who are not in glorified condition. And it's these people who will be able to die and cry. He said, we, the church, will already have our tears wiped away. We'll be in our glorified body, and capable of dying, we will be ruling and reigning with Christ. And then he says our tears are wiped away at the rapture. So then he shares 1 Peter 4:13. But rejoice in as much as you're partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Then he says, then the tribulation saints will have their tears wiped away at the second coming resurrection. And then he quotes Revelation 7:17. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them and shall lead them unto living fountains of water, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, which is basically the same phraseology that Revelation 21:4 has. Then he says, and then lastly, everyone who is from the millennium and the end of the 1,000 years, Revelation 21:4, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And I was like, thanks, Tyler. I appreciate that. Because, I mean, I wasn't like super stressed about it or anything. I just thought, wait a minute, that's kind of a little bit this I don't want to say depressing. That's the word. But not to say that I would be depressed, really, because I think obviously, if you're a believer, you can't die.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah.
Yep. Shannon says, I have a question about blood transfusions. I have read the places in the Bible that talks about that. I think they are fine, and am I reading that wrong? I have never read that in the Bible.
No, you're right. Blood transfusions are fine. That is
Are you talking about eating blood?
The Bible doesn't speak at all. Very good, honey. The Bible doesn't speak at all about no blood transfusions. It speaks about that you're not allowed to eat the blood of animals, or at least in the old law, the Jewish people were told not to eat the blood of animals. So that's largely a lot of the kosher stuff is because of that, and that's because the life is in the animals. But the thing about blood transfusions is you're not eating it, and there's no reference to blood transfusions at all in the Bible because they just didn't have technology for that sort of thing then. But I think, really, if you think about Christ giving his blood for us, I would say that if there was anything that spoke to it, that would seem to reason that it would be okay. But there's no prohibition on getting blood transfusions in the Bible. There are certain groups like Jehovah's Witnesses that will say that, but they're wrong. And they're wrong about everything. So it wouldn't be surprising that they're wrong on this. Because they have a Bible that's a Bible that was essentially translated and then changed to match their doctrine, and it's very cleverly changed. So if you don't know your Bible really well, it would be hard to recognize the things that aren't right. But the thing about no blood transfusions is that's totally wrong. Blood transfusions are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of you guys are getting a spammer on Facebook. Just ignore it and go. You can go in and block it on your thing.
Eva, the thing that's going around right now is people are saying that Jesus was not God and he never said he was. What would Scripture prove that wrong? It's in John 8. Well, there's a bunch of places, but John 8 is let's look in John 8 real quick here. I wonder if Bible Gateway still works today. Sorry, I need to get the right translation. Okay. he says essentially what he does is he says, I am. Here, let me look real quick to see. I was looking at a translation. I don't usually use, it is John 8. Okay, 48 to 59. All right, let me check there. So Jesus is talking to, this is after he says, if you continue in my word, then you are truly my disciples and you'll know the truth and the truth will set you free. Then I'll kind of summarize a little through some of this, but the Pharisees are claiming that they're Abraham's descendants. And they say we're Abraham's descendants who've never been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you'll become free? Jesus answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who commits sin is a slave of sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever. The son does remain forever. So if the son sets you free, you'll be really free. I know that you are Abraham's descendants, yet you are seeking to kill me because my word has no place in you. I speak of these things which I have seen with my father. Therefore, you also do the things which you have heard from your father. They answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said to them, if you are Abraham's children, do the deeds of Abraham, which the deeds of Abraham are otherwise described in the Bible as believing, like Abraham was saved by his faith. But as it is, you are seeking to kill me, a man who has told you the truth, which I heard from God. This Abraham did not do. You are doing the deeds of your father. Let's see. Verse 42, Jesus said to them, if God were your father, you would love me, for I came forth from God and am here, for I have not even come on my own. Sorry, I'm going to skip down a little bit because there's a lot.
Jesus bridged the gap, says Hebrews 8, 1 through 12. God the Father refers to his own son, Jesus as Lord.
Yeah, but there's that too, but that's in Hebrews. Well, actually, yeah. Hebrews. Yeah, okay. I'm used to reading it from different translations. So, okay, so basically the summary of it is in verse 57, the Jews said to him, you are not yet 50 years old, and yet you have seen Abraham. Verse 58, Jesus said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was born, I am. And I am is the way that God identifies himself. In Genesis, when Moses goes to the burning bush, God tells Abraham says, well, Moses. Duh, sorry. God tells Moses to go tell the people that he's going to go and represent God to Pharaoh and pass along some stuff. And Moses was trying to not say he was trying to not take the job. And so he was saying, well, what do I tell the people if they ask me who told me this? And God said, I am. He said, tell them I am has sent you. I am who I am. And so here Jesus is saying, truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was born, I am. Let me switch to, let's see. I like the New Living Translation because I read it more. But throughout this, he keeps saying I am in this whole chapter. And that I am is him claiming to be God. He actually claims it in a number of other places as well. And then, like Tar mentioned in Hebrews, it says, the Lord's God said to my God, I can't remember.
She said Hebrews 1, 8 through 12.
Yeah.
God the Father refers to his own son.
We'll have
Jesus
to go back
Lord.
there in just a second. But yeah, first, sorry, it was in John 8, 58 is the main one. But through this, I was just kind of skimming for the part. I just did a video about this that hasn't been published yet. Oh, yeah, he also says things like in verse 50, in John 8:54, if I want glory for myself, it doesn't count, but it's my Father who glorify me. You say he is our God, but you don't even know him. I know him. If I said otherwise, I would be as great a liar as you. But I do know him and obey him. Your father Abraham rejoiced as he looked forward to my coming. He saw it and was glad. Anyway, sorry, I'm confused here. There was another one that I was looking at the other day where he says, I and the Father are one.
While that's happening, Kayla, or while you're looking that up, Kayla says, do you follow a year in the year Bible plan? No, I don't. I am one of those people. I know I just pick a book of the Bible and read through it, or I just open my Bible and just read what I open to right then. I don't follow a year plan. You can if you want to, but I don't like doing it that way. I don't know.
So in John 10, Jesus is talking about how he's the shepherd and how his sheep follow him. He says in verse, John 10, verse 25. Just before that, they said, how long are you going to keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly. In verse 25, he says, I've already told you and you don't believe me. The proof is the work I do in my Father's name, but you don't believe me because you are not my sheep. In other words, you're not saved. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life and they will never perish. No one can snatch them away from me. For my Father has given them to me and he is more powerful than anyone else. No one can snatch them from the Father's hand. And then he says, the Father and I are one. Then it says, once again, the people picked up stones to kill him. And the reason why they did that is because they recognize he's claiming to be God. There were a number of times where it says in here that the people picked up stones to kill him, and it's because he was claiming to be God. Oh, something else just came to me where he...
Also, KMX said, John 14:9 says, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father.
Yes, there's that. And also in the Bible, it says only God gets worship. And in Revelation, there's a place where John is so overwhelmed with the revelation, he says he bowed to worship at the foot of the angel. And the angel said, no, don't worship me, worship only God. But Jesus... And pretty much everyone that's in a situation, well, there aren't very many, but those who have had somebody try to worship them say, no, don't worship me. But Jesus never tells them not to worship him. He accepts their worship. And so if Jesus is if Jesus is a good man or a prophet or whatever, he wouldn't be a good man or a prophet if he accepted worship unless he was actually God. So then in Hebrews, what did they say in Hebrews?
1:8-12.
I knew it's Hebrews, so I just couldn't remember which verses. Okay, so in Hebrews, it's saying he's kind of explaining that Jesus is the Son of God, but also he says God never said to any angel what he said to Jesus, you are my son, today I've become your father. God also said, I will be his father and he will be my son. And when he brought his supreme son into the world, God said, let all of God's angels worship him. And again, nobody gets worshiped except God. It's absolutely forbidden. Regarding the angels, he said, he sends his angels like the winds, his servants like flames of fire. But to the son, he says, now this is the Father is saying, God is saying it. To the Son, he says, your throne, O God, endures forever and ever. You rule with a scepter of justice. You love justice and hate evil. Therefore, O God, your God has anointed you, pouring out the oil of joy on you more than anyone else. So God is referring to Jesus as God. So Jesus has claimed to be God. The Father has said he was God. Jesus accepts worship, which only God is allowed to do. So there probably is more, but those are some pretty clear indications that Jesus has claimed to be God. And the Bible has asserted that he is God through the Father as well. So,
can you send me the next ones?
Yes.
Kimberly says, I have an underground storm shelter. We missed this. It was way back. What would you recommend to keep down there? Food-wise, I always keep jugs of water and food. So if I get trapped inside for a bit. So yes, you need easy-to-eat food like granola bars. Definitely water down there. Flashlight, extra batteries, a little hand pocket radio with extra batteries. Make sure you go down and test that it will work in your shelter first. I would have a whistle so that if a house or tree or something lands on your storm shelter, you can blow the whistle and not strain your vocal cords. My great-grandfather had a car fall on him in the probably 40s or 50s. And he had been yelling for over an hour for my great-grandma to come help him. And he had lost his vocal cords got damaged. So he talked funny the rest of his life. I would also make sure that you have a bucket with some toilet paper and some baking soda or cat litter to put over that in case you need to use the toilet. And then something to do. If you have light down there, I would also probably take down a little lantern, and I would take, some cards or coloring books or something like that if you have kids, book to read or something like that if you get stuck down there. So those are all a few of the things that I would keep in a storm shelter.
Thank you, Jesus bridged the gap for all those verses. I was a little bit off guard at the moment. I was like, wait, I know he did, and I just went through some of this. So thank you for sharing the verses.
Okay. And then I saw Kayla said earlier, and I'm trying to, here it is. Please pray. I feel like I wasted my life and trapped inside. Okay. I understand how, I don't know your situation. So I can't understand exactly what, what's going on. And maybe you talked a little bit more about that. But let me just say this, sometimes you just have to decide, I just can't do this one more day. I mean, pretty much for the last 40 years, every single day of my life has been, I just cannot do this one more day. But what I do is I just get up. First of all, get up, brush your teeth, comb your hair, and put on your makeup or put on your moisturizer or whatever you use and get dressed for the day. Do that every single day. The next thing is make your bed every day. And you're going to say, well, Tara, that's just dumb. How is that going to help? It helps to get you into a routine to start doing things to take care of yourself. The other thing is to make sure the dishes are done every single day. It doesn't matter what happens. The bed's made, the dishes are done, and the laundry is done. Those three things are always done. Then, after you force yourself to do those things every single day, and there are days it's like every hour of the day, I'm just like, okay, I can't go on one more minute. I'm just going to do the next thing. What's the next thing that I need to do? What's the next thing that's bothering me that I can fix in the house? Like today, I took down all the Easter decorations. Excuse me. I transplanted some of my flowers that I've started. I did not feel like doing any of this. I shot 4 recipe videos. I didn't feel like shooting recipe videos. And I don't feel like doing anything most days. So just force yourself to say, okay, I know I don't feel like doing this, but what is the next thing I can do? I can do blank. And then if you're physically able to, get yourself some exercise also. Every single day, even if you're in a chair, you can do arm exercises, leg exercises, even if you're in a chair. So that's how I do that. Because more days than not, I'm like, what is my reason for even being on this earth other than to be your wife?
Yeah, but that's really important. Well, but also, Kayla,
just keep going.
Kayla is the person who was asking about the cookbook because she's blind, and I think there's just some.
Well, that would be so. I mean, I can't believe how hard that would be. I just can't understand how hard that would be. But having a chronic illness, I know what it's like to have something that's holding you back. So, yes, you're blind, but there are blind people who do all kinds of accomplishments in the world. It doesn't mean you can't do something. What is it you dream of?
You still have a great amount of value and also no doubt skills and things like that. And
yeah.
And the thing is that all of us have moments of feeling like, wow, I completely wasted all this time in my life and I didn't do what I could have done and I should have done something different. And that's a natural thought, but I think it's also perhaps sometimes if the devil is trying to discourage you. But I would say there's no reason you can't start doing something different today.
Yeah, and just do the next thing.
The other thing, though, is it's not uncommon to have, depressive feelings sometimes, and it's okay. So
just get up and do the next thing. Valley Badlands, Tara, you forgot to get dressed. I thought I said get dressed, but if I didn't, yes, make sure you get dressed also. Donnie says eggs were about $5 at Walmart. Had to get some today. Ooh, man. Yeah, I get mine at Dollar General. They're $3.75 at Dollar General. So I'm hoping they're going down at Dollar General too. So that would be great. Bounty Badlands, Tara, don't rant at me. I'm ordering meat and cheese trays. What? My veggie trays were branding this year, almost double compared to doing them all myself. But this spring has been crazy. What? Listen, I'm okay with that. I really am.
Now what are you doing, Bounty? Just sitting around, twiddling your thumbs. No, you're branding. Holy moly, that's a tough business.
Yeah. Branding cows is hard.
And organizing that whole operation,
Yeah.
That's a massive endeavor, and probably the amount you're spending on. The thing about the party trays is
it's way better than ordering takeout or DoorDash.
Well, and you're probably making enough money from the result of that massive amount of work that it's just worth buying it.
Yeah.
Like it might not be worth buying it every day for somebody who's mainly just going to work and coming home and watching TV in the evenings all the time.
Wait, maybe we could buy a cow from her. We're close to Canada. How far are we from Alberta? Which part of the country is Alberta?
Google says it's straight above us.
Is Alberta straight above us?
Almost. Yeah. So Google seemed to say 11 hours the other day.
Maybe we could buy a cow from her and bring it home.
It occurred to me, I was thinking about Alberta, and I was like, wait, it's not like going to Europe. We don't have to book a plane or anything. We could just take the vehicle and drive across the border. Although once we get to Canada, we have to drive really slow.
So then would there be
It'll
tariffs?
Be hard getting used to not going 80 miles an hour, which is the speed limit here in Wyoming.
So if we bought a cow from her and brought it back here, is there tariffs on a cow? How do I find that information out? I don't know.
I think, see, if we bought it there, it would be our personal cow. So we wouldn't be... We wouldn't be purchasing it across the border.
Very interesting.
This is just Bessie, my milking cow. Well, I guess you don't have to get a little trailer and hook it on the back of the 4Runner.
I meant dead, not alive.
Oh, okay.
And butchered all into ground beef.
Oh, I see. Well, that would be a little more.
Sacred Wonder says, start your day with the Bible. Actually, I don't agree with that. I know a lot of people say that, but if you're not a morning person like me, I just am not awake in the morning. So when I read the Bible, I might as well just be reading blah, 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 because nothing sinks in until I've been awake for an hour. So it's okay to read your Bible at other times of the day. So don't let people pressure you into doing that if that's not your thing. But if you're good and you're a morning person, then go for it.
I don't think she's saying you have to do it in the morning.
I know, but a lot of people do.
I think starting your day with it is a good thing in the sense that then that's kind of what's on your mind. But obviously, I found lately that I have a hard time in the morning because of all the chaos that's happening in the morning. But when I go to the library or whatever to do my work, I'll bring it with me. But typically when I'm waiting in line, I have to get in line like 15, 20 minutes before school gets out. And so I figure that's a great time. Sit there in the car, turn it off. It's really quiet. There's nobody anywhere around. It's just me and the Bible. And there are other times too, but finding yourself a time where you can be quiet is really good.
Frosty Gal says she made the green chili in Dining on a Dime Volume 1. She did the chicken instead of the pork. We have pork in here, but you can use chicken if you want. The green chili is probably our favorite dinner. Well, we have a lot of favorite ones. That's why I wrote the cookbook. But the green chili is at the top. If I just want something to make, that's one of the things that I just make right away. And actually, I'm getting ready to make it again for my videos coming up. But guys, our cookbooks are on sale right now, 40% off if you buy the 2-book or 3-book set. The green one is our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Start with our volume 1 for regular people. Start with our volume 1, and volume 2 is just a continuation of that. Crazy Cat Lady says, my uncle is blind. He had his doctorate and taught at Virginia Tech for 40 years, also raised a family. Yes, there are a lot of things you can do.
I sent you one more that doesn't have a lot on
okay.
But Bounty in the Badlands, that gets my vote.
Bounty Badlands. Grab and go lunch today. Peanut butter sandwiches, 2-minute make. Ate them in the trunk on the way to my next crisis. Very good. Yes. Sorry, I was thinking something about ranching that I shouldn't be thinking. Never mind. Sorry.
We know a lot of ranchers.
Cindy, I have 10 recipes I make for my husband's lunches. The dinner meals are different, so he gets diversity. He doesn't like to eat out unless he's traveling or at the office at lunch. Yep. Jesus bridge a gap. This is not exhaustive list. The 4 verses that stand out for her were Genesis 1:26, John 1:1, John 8:58, and John 14:9. But there are so many more verses. Yes.
Duh. John
Yeah.
1:1. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I was wondering why you didn't say that one, but I thought
because my brain is just not with it today.
it's fine.
Yeah. John 1:1 says that Jesus is the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So yeah.
Mary said, thank you so much for sharing all my great recipes and money-saving suggestions, especially in stockpiling. Can't wait to see more easy recipes and ideas. Thank you. Kimberly says, Tyler's YouTube channel is Generation 2434. I always get the numbers all mixed up, so if I mix it up, I'm sorry. Tyler is awesome. Yes, he talks about Revelation and the end times a lot. He's really knowledgeable, but he's not a freak out.
Yeah, he studies a lot about prophecy, but he doesn't make up a bunch of crazy stuff.
He's not
like a lot of people do.
Well, he is. The world's coming to an end because we all know the world's coming to an end. But he's not the sky is falling at this moment type.
But what I mean is he doesn't, as far as I've ever heard, he doesn't extrapolate things that are just way beyond what the Bible says, which a lot of people do who are into prophecy. And so that's one thing I like about him is he actually looks at what the Bible says and looks at what the Bible supports in what he's saying, as opposed to kind of making up the parts that he doesn't know.
Johnny Badline says, if you buy it live, the paperwork is there, but not horrible. Processed, however, is a nightmare. Oh, shoot.
That's why I said we got to just put Bessie on the trailer.
Okay. We'll come up and get Bessie. And we will have a live show processing our own cow. We won't want
to process Bessie because Bessie has a name now. and it's family.
I don't want to process a cow. Sorry.
Did you see what she said about getting dressed?
Yes, I did. I read that one.
Oh, you read it already?
Catherine says, I'm honestly depressed stay-at-home mom that doesn't feel like doing anything either. Thank you for that advice to just do something, even if you don't feel like it. Yes, that is the thing. Just do. It's not even something. It's just, what's the next thing I can do? I just pick one thing, and it doesn't even matter what you pick. Just pick one thing. And then when you're done with that, just go pick another thing. And then when you're done with that, just go pick another thing. And just keep doing that and doing that for the rest of your life. It's like, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Well, actually, I just thought about this, but if you feel depressed, it's okay to feel depressed, but feelings lie. So when you feel a certain way, it's legitimate that you feel that way, but what your feelings are telling you isn't reality.
Yeah.
And so it's the reality that matters. What's true, not how do I feel about it. And it's fine that you feel, it's okay to feel depressed or to feel whatever. But I've realized in my life, there are times where I just feel that way. And there are times where I have to just say, okay, but I'm depressed because of this. And I realize that sometimes I just feel that way and it's not true and it's going to pass. Or like with anxiety, I feel anxiety, but I realize that I'm feeling anxiety because somewhere in there, my brain is telling me something and it's not true. And so I would keep in mind that feelings are not a good judge of how to understand what's happening in your life.
So remember that when you're feeling mad at your wife.
Well, I always do.
And with that,
I feel like the Lord has forgiven me. So who am I to not forgive?
Okay. Before Mike and Tara, no, just kidding.
I think we're far from whatever you were going to say.
Yes, I know. Jesus Bridge Gap, I have a hard time at the mornings only because I'm a night owl, but those times I have been able to force myself to bed and knocked out, I always feel great in the morning. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Our problem is we stay up watching movies later only because we can't watch our movie clear through it because we have kids that keep coming and talking to us. So,
not that we don't want to talk to them.
Not that we don't. So we were like, well, we want to talk to the kids, but we don't get to watch our movie. So anyway, yeah. Although the kids are starting to dwindle, so it's getting a little bit easier.
They're starting to dwindle.
Well, sort of. They're dwindling in and out, sort of.
Yeah, they're kind of, yeah, they come and go.
I don't think I'm ever going to have an empty nest. Pretty sure. But hey, maybe some of my daughters-in-laws will insist that there be an empty nest for me, I hope. So anyway, our Mother's Day sale is 40% off right now, guys. For the single books, 50% off if you buy the 2 or 3 book set. Grab them now. This only happens twice a year. Easy recipes to get you in and out of the kitchen quick. Julie says, I've been decluttering for months now. I'm lucky because I have an aunt that owns a consignment shop, so a lot has been going to her. That is great. Brenda says, don't forget to hit the like button, the thumbs up. That really helps our channel. Thank you, Brenda, for reminding everyone of that. Please visit us at livingonadime.com, guys. We will see you next time. Have a great night.